Welcome in, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets 2020 French Open Award Show. Now, so much dramatic action, so many incredible storylines have unfolded over the past 2 weeks in Paris. To help make sense of it all, Cracked Racquets' Jamie McDonald is going to join me in giving out some awards. And with that in mind, let's give out some awards. All right, Jamie, I have to give you props as we get into this award because it was another clever title by you. We're calling this one the Sam Querrey Konta Award for the player most likely to have blown up your bracket. Jamie, let's start with the women's side. Who wins this one for you?
I mean, it's got to be the champion, right? In Swiatek. I mean, how did she ran through this entire draw, completely blowing it up, beating the 1 seed, somebody we both circled as the favorite. I mean, props to you if Swiatek didn't blow up your draw. I just don't see how that's even possible at this point.
Yeah, no, you're just lying if that's what you're telling people. Iga Swiatek is the obvious choice for this category, but, you have to give a shout-out to Nadia Podoroska, of course, the semifinalist, to Trevisan, the quarterfinalist. They were both incredible, and I promise you no one had either of them in either of those stages of their bracket. But yeah, Swiatek not only didn't drop, a set in this tournament, her closest set, she played 2 6-4 sets the entire 2 weeks. That's bracket blown up. The 19-year-old, just so impressive, so stunning. Obviously becomes the youngest champion since prior to 2000 at the French Open. Adds her name on the list of immensely talented young players right now in the women's game. On the men's side, Jamie, a couple of candidates here. We didn't see the deep run, right? In the end, we got chalk. We got the Djokovic-Nadal final, but plenty of candidates. Who'd you go with here? Yeah,
I mean, the deepest run in that sort of category, I think, is a Jannik Sinner, a guy who has been circled as, hey, this guy can make a breakthrough, watch out. We've seen some tight matches. This is really where he capitalized on the opening in his section of the draw, so phenomenal job to him. I think he probably ruined a few brackets. I'm guessing some people had a deep run from him, so maybe not the most bracket busting. I think you got to go with Fucsovics, though. That upset in round 1, taking out Daniil Medvedev immediately in the first round. I mean, that's blowing up a lot of things, including my bracket.
Yeah, I would have 2 names in here. Daniel Altmaier, I mean, he beats Matteo Berrettini, comes through qualifying to make the 4th round, looked really good in doing so. He was a guy we saw at the Ann Arbor Challenger in January. To see him go from there to the second week of the French Open, I did not predict that. I also would throw in Hugo Gaston, who just needs to be named for something in these awards. There was a 2-day, 3-day span where it was the Gaston French Open, and, one could argue his drop shots inspired a lot of the play we saw in the second week. Now, I'm not arguing that, but I have seen credible people be like, oh, did Gaston fuel this? And I just feel like he deserves some sort of mention. The Sam Querrey Konta Award feels about right for him.
Yeah, look, phenomenal stuff, and you always love seeing a run like that. It always feels most likely at the French Open because you have some people who are just phenomenal on clay. Same on the women's side. You already mentioned her, Podoroska, right? Just having a great stretch of play at Roland Garros, and so really fun stuff there. But yeah, I mean, look, my bracket was busted from day 1, so at this point I could have handed this award out to many, many people.
Yeah, shout out to Caroline Garcia, shout out to Paula Badosa Gilbert. Again, any woman you can make a case for, and it's legitimate. There were so many upsets. That's one of the big takeaways of this French Open. It's what made it such an exciting event, but I think we both agree the Sam Querrey Konta Award for most likely to have blown up your bracket on the women's side goes to Iga Swiatek. On the men's side, I'll roll with you. I'll say Marton Fucsovics. I did not expect him to get over the hump with Medvedev. That he did certainly influence what we saw over the next 4 or 5 days. To see the other awards Jamie McDonald and I gave out, just be sure to click that link on your screen. Also, to ensure that you don't miss any of our Cracked Racquets content, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, subscribe to our podcast as well, which you can find on our website, crackrackets.com. But with that in mind, we hope you all enjoyed this 2020 French Open.